Good morning. Welcome to Public Policy Talks. Got a different background this morning. I am at the facility for Monday, Top Golf Atlanta in Midtown, live from Top Golf Midtown in the city of Atlanta. Thank you for joining Public Policy Talks this morning. Going to have a quick conversation this morning. We may get out a few minutes early, we may not. We're about to see. I am on site at Top Golf. On site. Thank y'all for coming in. Have a few people coming in. All right, we're about to get started, y'all. Again, at Top Golf Atlanta this morning. Came out of the home office, away from the home office today. Coming live, and they actually just turned on the music. I am in the members area. That's a kind of a closed area from the regular areas, I call it, and they just turned the music on. Actually, we thought I had it worked out where they would not turn the music on in this area, so hopefully that doesn't bother anything, everyone. The time is 8:31. We're almost underway. Almost underway. We got Melvin Colvin in the house. Good morning, Melvin. President of ABC, Atlanta Black Chambers.
We can't hear any music, so you're good.
Oh, good. Okay.
I don't know now. Typically people like, they're like, hey, where is the music? Right. All right.
Well, hopefully if y'all hear this, it's a good song. Some of those songs that Melvin play on Tuesday Talks. All right, y'all. We're gonna jump right into it. Again, I am on site at Top Golf. I'm gonna turn the screen around throughout this broadcast to show y'all the back view. I actually wanted to be on the other side showing the actual course, but due to the lighting, it did not work out that way. But Markee Tate, Advancing Black Businesses President. Advancing Black Business is your 501c4 public policy advocacy organization that is advocating for you in that public policy space. We are partners. Our biggest partner, our sister, is the ABC. So thank you, ABC members, for coming in. Thank you for the support of Georgia Coalition of Black Chambers across the state. I see there's a few presidents in the house where Ronique West of the Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce is president of the GCBC. Thank you so much for your support. Coming up this June 24th at Top Golf, we have our annual golf tournament. Our annual golf tournament, this will be actually the second annual golf tournament. Thank you for the ones who have already registered. That information will go in the chat. It will go in the chat. Before I jump into that, June 19th, yesterday, we celebrated and we continue to celebrate. Started actually this past weekend. It'll go into this coming weekend, Juneteenth. Juneteenth originates from June 19, 1865. There was a field order 3 that ordered the release, and hopefully I'm using the right words, the release of the slaves in the state of Texas, particularly that Galveston area. That field order was delivered down to right about that city. And this was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, 2 years and about 6 months, approximately 18 days. Emancipation Proclamation was on January the 1st, 1863. Here we are. We had a great celebration. I know on yesterday, we talked about a lot of great things across the nation. There's a major event in Piedmont Park coming up this weekend. I want to say that is a 3-day event at Piedmont Park. I may be going down to that event. Definitely want to celebrate, our ancestors. But more importantly, I want to actually celebrate that public policy field order 3 that had to take place. Field order 3 had to take place in the state of Texas because you had some radicals that did not want to release our ancestors from slavery. I know that my ancestry goes all the way back to my great grandfather, Robert Tate, who was born a slave in the mid 1840s. We could not figure out the exact year during our ancestry research, but we know it was a mid 1840s. Our great grandfather was born Robert Tate. So shout out to those ancestors that went through what they've gone through. Some of that is definitely, or a lot of that, or most of that is still in the system now. And it shows with the racial wealth gap. It shows what I call the racial business gap. You heard me talk about that average revenue, which is around that 60-ish thousand, just over 60,000, whereas that white revenue from businesses is over 560,000. So that's your gap right there. So just wanted to mention that. Really wanted to take somewhat of a second of a silence just for that. So thank you everyone for celebrating that, and we continue to celebrate that. But we're here at Top Golf. Top Golf is the location that we chose, Top Golf Atlanta, Top Golf Midtown, where we're doing our annual fundraiser. Thank you again for the ones who have signed up. You can actually, that should be in the chat or will be in the chat shortly. But that golf tournament, a golf tournament at Top Golf. Why a golf tournament at Top Golf? A different type tournament. I mentioned it before, but I want to go over the rules of that golf tournament. That is a best ball scramble, which is similar to being on a regular golf course, a best ball scramble. So one of the biggest differences is, of course, you're not on a golf course. You're on this something what could be called a driving range. You have 5 holes on the driving range. You can play that just like a golf course. However, you can have up to 6 players, on a team. General regular golf tournament at a golf course is up to 4 players. We will have a shotgun start is what it's called. That's when everybody starts at one hole at the same time. We'll be at the bays here at Top Golf. There's a total of, I mentioned 5 holes. We'll have 4 shots per hole. It's all tabulated by the computer. You'll see how close you got to the hole based on graphics, based on the computerized graphics that are going to 3D your shot on the screen. There's no rain delays. That's what's the good thing about this. There probably is some, what you could call some thunderstorm, lightning delays, but don't worry about the rain. We'll be under cover for the most part. There is a hole-in-one contest. The hole-in-one contest is somewhat different. Here at Top Golf, there's a $10,000 prize. We're treating that, if for those true golfers out there, like a mulligan. You know how you buy the mulligans? You'll be able to buy your chance to win that $10,000. And actually, you can play that hole in one challenge, a hole-in-one contest, more than once. It's just a matter of buying that ticket for the hole-in-one contest. So the tournament will last approximately 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. It will start at 12 noon. Again, we'll start at 12 noon. So if you want to come in for an extended lunch break, come on in, network with all your fellow golfers. You will be able to go from bay to bay while you're waiting to go up to the tee box. You'll be able to network while you're doing it. You don't have to worry about riding in carts. It'll all be right here together. And the best thing about this, the food is actually served throughout the tournament. You don't have to wait to the end of the tournament to get the meal. We'll have that throughout the tournament. You will have a drink ticket also. Drink ticket actually comes with signing up as a golfer in this tournament. So we're looking forward to this. It's a great time to fellowship, network, talk about public policy while you are here. So just real briefly, I am going to turn my screen off and turn it around one time. I know most of you have probably been to Top Golf, but just wanted to turn my screen around one time just to show you the scenery here at Top Golf. Hopefully you can see that. You'll see where there are 5 holes. You probably can't see that hole furthest to the left. But that is actually, I'm sorry, 6 holes. There's 6 holes out there, not 5. We'll be playing 5 of those holes. You see the sand traps to the left and to the right. But we'll have the longest drive competition. The longest drive competition is going to be towards that furthest hole that's out towards the end, if you see that. But here it is, y'all, at Top Golf. Looking forward to each and every one coming out. to Top Golf. We're going to have a great time. Let me turn the screen around back to the regular side, and you'll see the light will somewhat change and it'll adjust to what we are. So Top Golf, again, the information is in the chat where you can actually sign up. We still have room for you to actually sign up for this golf tournament. We have plenty of room for networkers that want to come. If you want to come out and network, there is a network admission. So get ready, y'all. June the 24th. And I'll go through a quick transition. Also on a couple of days ago, June the 18th. June the 18th was a runoff election. Runoff elections for several races, and I do want to point out a couple of those races. One race in DeKalb County. DeKalb County has its first Black female CEO of DeKalb County. First Black female, Lorraine Cochran Johnson, the first Black female. We're definitely looking forward to supporting the new CEO-elect of DeKalb County. I had a good, quick, very brief text conversation. Thank you, Dr. Diane Daniels-Adoma, our VP of Government Affairs for the ABC. Also, a board member for Advancing Black Business and Secretary for Advancing Black Business, hosted a private event at her home location for Lorraine Cochran Johnson to have that close-knit conversation with Lorraine Cochran Johnson with a group of people. So shout out to Dr. Diane Daniels-Adoma for pulling me really on that side of supporting Lorraine Cochran Johnson. We definitely love supporting in the races, and that's what we do at Advancing Black Businesses. We actually more work behind the scenes in supporting candidates and anything. We have endorsed candidates before. We did not endorse during this election cycle, but we will look at each election cycle if we need to endorse or not, or just sit back, watch what's going on, educate you on the particular candidates and what they are doing, what they're pushing for. I do know Lorraine Cochran Johnson was very, very big on small business, supporting small businesses. She has visited several Atlanta Black Chamber events over the years, so we definitely are proud of Lorraine Cochran Johnson. Moving over to Clayton County. Clayton County had a highly contested race. Where's my information? Alika, if I'm pronouncing that right, Anderson was elected again, not the chair, excuse me, not the CEO, but the chair of the Board of Commissioners of Clayton County. A very, very close race there. And even looking at the turnout, I didn't see the overall turnout numbers that I felt comfortable talking about, but I did was able to pull it down by county. And looking at the Clayton County voter turnout was just under 8%, y'all. Just under 8%. Not a big turnout. Not a big turnout. I'm assuming that it could be similar in the other county runoffs. I know we're running into a national election this year, and that's generally when we really, really go out and vote. But everybody voting is definitely important. Voting is some of the most important things that we'll do for closure in who we want elected and who we want representing us in our Black community. So we have to do a better job in our off-year elections, in our runoff elections, because you have a very, very short margins that will get candidates in front of you as an elected official when we look at going out to vote. So just think about that as we move forward. We're going into really the heavy campaign season on June the 27th. I think I'm right about that date. It'll be the first presidential debate. That debate, from what I understand, is right here in the city of Atlanta. Right here in the city of Atlanta. From my understanding, that's a closed debate. Please tune in for that on June the 27th. If I'm wrong about that date, somebody please correct me in the chat, or feel free to unmute and say, Markee, it's another date, but it's June 27th. I think I don't have that actually written in my notes, but let's start paying more attention to that national race. We know that politics are definitely always local. They start with local, and local actually influences all the way up to the DC area. So what time is it, y'all? It is 8:45. I'm gonna actually just a moment, I'm gonna open it up for just a conversation. If you want to have a conversation, want to make a comment, have a question, please point it out. We're definitely going to, public policy talks. We're here to educate you on what's going on out there in the world of public policy as it relates to you as a Black business owner, as a Black consumer, as a Black citizen in this Atlanta metropolitan area and in this nation of the United States. So what comments do you have?
Markee,
Markee, did you want to say something about the fly-in?
Yes, I will. Yes, and Melvin, go ahead.
Well, okay. I wanted Martina to Martina, what happened in Rockdale County? Martina, what happened in Rockdale County?
Hey there. Well, all three incumbents were ousted. So you have the chair, which was Oz Nesbitt. So he lost his seat. And then Commissioner Sherry Washington was there 7 years. She also lost her seat. And then you also have the school board commissioner seat, which was lost. That went to Larry Cox. They only have 3 commissioners, 1 chair, 2 commissioners. So the chair, the commissioner that was already in the seat, she wasn't up for re-election.
Wow.
Gonna see they got a lot getting ready to go on there, shaking it up.
Yes, they are shaking it up. You said 3 incumbents lost.
Yeah, I mean, from a distance, I mean, it seemed like Oz Nesbitt was a popular guy. So I was, a little. Thank you, Martina. Okay.
It's a huge surprise. I was actually at a supposed to be a celebration for one of the commissioners, and I think it was a huge surprise to everyone. But yeah, the people have voted, and I think that with Vanessa going in, she got. Well, I would just put the article in here. Okay. But those of you on Rockdale, and again, all of those of you in these different counties, you got to show up because. The people are out here and people are voting. So if you're for a certain candidate, you have to show up and speak up for that candidate also.
Definitely have to. Definitely need your voice heard.
This is my neck of the woods, Rockdale, and actually Oz Nesbitt, that was not a surprise. He'd been there for 16 years and people were tired of the unbridled and uncontrolled growth out here in this area, and it wasn't a surprise to people who were here on the ground.
Okay, thanks, Calvin.
So there you have it.
Yeah, there you have it. Yeah, Calvin, a board member of Advancing Black Businesses. Calvin is heavily involved and has been heavily involved in the scene of politics and governmental agencies for many, many years and knows many, many people. So Calvin, I know you text me with one of our good friends of our organizations. Did not win, also an incumbent in that's Newton County. So they're
yes. Commissioner Alania Sanders lost the runoff to Stephanie Lindsay, newcomer. Stephanie is a Black female. She's an attorney, and it wasn't even close. She got smoked.
Wow. There's a lot of changes going on in the political realm here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. So definitely keep up with that. We're going to start in public policy talks talking more about the election. And I mentioned earlier about us getting out to vote, and we're doing a great job when it comes to, and I say that because if you compare the last presidential elections in our community, the Black community, compared to other Black communities, we voted at a higher rate, particularly in 2008 and 2012. We slid some after that, but we definitely still need to pick those numbers up. What I'm truly concerned with when it comes to elections is what we do before we go out and cast our vote. What agendas that we put forth, what we ask, what commitments that we ask for those candidates, particularly at the national level. At the national level, we don't see those candidates at the national level in our community. We can't reach out and touch them. But as an organization, really as a national organizations, because our national organizations can get the closest to the presidential candidates. What are we asking those candidates? What commitments are we getting from those candidates before we decide as a community or as an individual that we find out what their commitments are? What is their campaign all about. What have they done while they have been in office? I mentioned a few public policy talks ago that I was listening to one of the pundits on one of the national shows, and that pundit said something similar to, if that candidate is already in office, and what can they do for you right now while they're in office? Because talking to them about what they're going to do if they win the election is one thing, but what can they do right now? What executive order? What bill can you push through the Senate, through Congress? Can you do right now since you're already, or what can you present in Congress? What can you actually influence in Congress while you're in office right now? All right, raise your hand if you have a comment, want to talk about a particular election, want to talk about what you have done leading up to the runoff election and what kind of involvement you're going to actually be doing leading up to the November election. Please raise your hand. All right, Sylvester, I see your hand up first. Go right ahead, board member ABB.
Yes, good morning, everyone. But if we look at the results of the elections over this past Tuesday, what we see is it seems like a reoccurring theme far as those incumbents who are in office did not put a lot of emphasis or did not bring results at the bottom. And at the end of the day, that's what counts, nothing but results in economic development. Or the losing candidate was not seen as somebody who had any kind of innovation or thoughts on how to improve, because all of those were pretty much African American communities in a big way, as far as on economic development. When we look at and go down the list, if they were incumbents in their current position, economic development was not something that was really seen as their big claim to fame. You didn't see it, whether it was Rockdale in Clayton County, the tax commissioner was not seen as innovative as the community seems to want. DeKalb County, Lorraine Cochran is just someone who is seen, as you indicated, as you first spoke, as far as focus on small business and getting away from some of just the hoopla. Seems like what we've got in office now is going to be people who are going to be focused on the nuts and bolts of economic development, something that has been lost on some of the politicians in the past.
All right. Thank you, Sylvester, for your input. Really appreciate that. Henry Caslin, what's going on, Henry?
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Kind of touching on what Sylvester just said, Ms. Cochran Johnson mentioned that, seems one of the barriers to economic development seems to be the crime, which in my opinion is really plaguing DeKalb County. But she mentioned that she wants to push economic development. And the challenge is trying to push it in these crime-ridden areas in DeKalb. One thing that we got going on at New Birth, I'm a member of New Birth. We broke ground about a few weeks ago. We got this development called the Benison. It's going to be over 300 tiny homes. And so we had a lot of the DeKalb officials come out, of course, from Stonecrest. Hank Johnson was there. And so I'm proud to see that happening. That's going to be a big deal. It's going to be mixed use community. It's going to be an amphitheater. But I think that's the issue pretty much with a lot of our communities. I kind of felt like the situation that happened in Atlanta with the racetrack over by Georgia State, I kind of felt like the mayor really didn't address that issue, because that's another issue in Atlanta itself. You got crime and then businesses, really trying to be successful, but you got racetrack that felt like, we're not in the crime business. We're not in the security business. And they closed down the racetrack in downtown Atlanta. That's a big deal. And I'm surprised a lot of people are not addressing that. But that crime is a barrier.
Was that QT or racetrack?
I thought it was racetrack over there on Wesley Dobbs, or was that? Yeah, it was racetrack.
Okay.
There's a QT on P Street over in Midtown.
Okay.
But yes, these, the crime is really a barrier for a lot of these politicians trying to push economic development. And that's what I wanted to touch on.
All right. Appreciate it, Henry. And Henry, are you coming down?
I won't be able to make it, but I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
What's the name? Kesha, we did speak, and I'll follow up with you afterwards.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All
All right,
right.
everyone. The time is 8:55. Melba, I did see your hand up. I see it's not up now, but if you want to come in, put that hand. Oh, go ahead, Melba.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to make a comment. I'm on my way to my very first Board of Commissioners meeting. So that's what I wanted to say. So I encourage everybody else to, get involved.
What county, Melba?
DeKalb.
All right. Okay, great, great. I know Montina mentioned about what is that one thing, and we're going to come up with that one thing that we should be doing, that solution-oriented one thing. And that's part of it, what Melba is doing, going to that county commission meeting in DeKalb County. And that's one thing I definitely want to push everybody to do, is get more involved. I think Montina has talked about that. Go to those meetings, get involved in the knowing what they're talking about, knowing what decisions they're going to be making. Juliana, what is going on in Rockdale County? My best friend in Rockdale County. I see your hands up. What's going on?
Oh no, not my best friend in Rockdale County. Hey, I can't, there's a lot going on in Rockdale County. There's been a lot going on in Rockdale County, but I can't really comment because of my position here in Rockdale County. But what I did wanted to chime in on, first of all, I want to say, hey, Markee, hey,
Hello.
guys, I missed you guys. But I just wanted to chime in on the conversation with economic development, which is true and factual as far as us heading into the national race. But I want people to kind of bear in mind that economic development has layers. So one of the main things that we ignore, we don't ask about consistently in economic development, is infrastructure. Without infrastructure, we can't really build. We can't build, we can't have the businesses necessary. There are many, many things. Our infrastructure is largely ignored, which is impeding growth and development, at least sustainable growth and development. And another thing that I really want to put on the table, especially for those who are, taking office and looking at their areas, is regionalism. A lot of times we don't play together well, and so therefore we are not capitalizing on the max amount of money that we need to grow our communities, but we share resources, as in water, sewer, and everything else. If we can ever really think about regional approaches towards development for housing and for economic development, and if we can definitely try to body slam the infrastructure, because that's eroding a lot of things and making things a lot harder, to put it on a consistent plan, we can have consistent growth. So I just wanted to add to that. Yes, I'm out here in Rockdale County. I'm actually in office right now. There's lots going on. Yeah, as the gentleman said, on the ground, we knew what we knew and we know what we know, but my position puts me in a little silent box for the time being, but I can contribute that. I really missed you guys, able to make it on. I'm trying to get on Markee. I think this is an excellent way to continue to educate and spread the word. So I just wanted to add to that. I know I don't want to kill your time. Hi, Melvin, and hi, everybody else that's on the call that I can't see.
Thank you, Jules. Good talking with you. Thanks a lot. We'll talk sometime soon. All right, y'all. It looks like I said we're going to get a few minutes, get out early, but it looks like we're going to go over just a couple of minutes. We have two former commissioners that are in line to actually speak, and I think the first one to raise her hand is Marlene Foscue. What's going on?
Good morning. Good morning. I just wanted to commend Melba for going to the DeKalb County Board of Commissioners meeting, because what people don't realize is that when Lorraine Cochran Johnson and Larry Johnson, both commissioners, decided to run, they stepped down and vacated their position. So therefore, there's no coverage over the district into November when the special election that happens. So it takes the citizens that were in their two districts to speak up, so that they can still have someone supporting their viewpoints and things like that. So sometimes that happens because it's a state law. Either they could have had a special election, which would have been a cost to their county, or they have to wait until November, which is what they're doing. And so the people, again, the thousands of people in their districts don't have a voice between the time that they qualify in March and November in the election. So it's really good, Melva, and I don't know you, but I commend you for going to the meeting and encouraging other citizens, because you still need to make sure your district is being represented.
All right. Thank you, former Commissioner Marlene Foskey. Really appreciate it. Now we have Shirley Hines, former commissioner and president of one of our great Black chambers in the state. Hello, Shirley. What's going on?
Good morning. Wonderful dialogue today. Just to piggyback on what Julian was saying about the infrastructure in order to bring the business in your community. And so infrastructure and crime are going to be your two biggest things when you talk about economic development. We haven't dived into that yet, but we really do need to look at it. And the next thing I encourage everyone, go to your commissioners meeting, but also get involved with your regional commission. A lot of you all know about ARC, Atlanta Regional Commission, but there's 12 regional commission in the state of Georgia. And when you talk about partnership and dollars, things are done on a more collaborative basis, especially around infrastructure. And so we also need to be involved with that group. We need to see what they're doing around economic development. That's one of their tasks, transportation, aging. So once again, there's so many different things that we can get involved in, but we got to be strategic in how we go to these meetings and what we're looking to get back and how we come with solutions. So thank you for the opportunity to share that.
All right. Thank you, Shirley. And actually mention the name of your chamber, Shirley, if you don't mind.
West Central Georgia Black Chamber. We're based in Noonan.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right. Appreciate your support, Shirley. Okay, everybody, the time is 9:02. We are going to get out of here. Again, I am at Top Golf Midtown, Top Golf Atlanta. Hope to see you all on next Monday. Also, I'll end on this note, the September the 12th through the 15th. I want to say that's already been in the chat. That's our annual DC fly-in. That's during the same time as the annual legislative conference for the Congressional Black Caucus. We still have some slots available. Thank you all for who have already joined. I think we have well over half of the slots. We only have a certain number of slots to go up with us during the DC fly-in. And if you are going up, please let us know if you're going to be in town a day or two or something along that. But September 12th through the 15th, the actual Congressional Black Caucus annual legislative conference is September the 11th through the 15th. September the 11th, so it starts a day before we actually arrive in DC. So thank you everyone for joining Thursdays. Go ahead, Melvin. What's up?
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to know if anyone is going to the U.S. Black Chambers annual conference next month, the 17th, 18th, 19th. Let me know that you're going to be there, as of course I'll be there. And then of course we want to get all of our ATL people together. So reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Melvin, for mentioning that. That slipped my mind, but July the 17th through the 19th, we will be convening in DC once again. So we generally take 2 to 3 and sometimes 4 trips a year to DC. That'll be one of our trips, our annual trip. July the 17th through the 19th is a United States Black Chambers. President and CEO Ron Busby has pulled together a great lineup for this year's conference. There's going to be a gala on the Friday night, the 19th. So we're going to have a great time in DC this coming month. So thanks a lot, y'all, for joining Thursday's Public Policy Talks, brought to you by Advancing Black Businesses, your 501c4 that's going to educate you and talk to you more about public policy and more specifically how we need to be advocating when it comes to public policy to represent ultimately our community as Black business owners and Black consumers. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'll see you. We're going out live away from Top Golf. I'm looking around, y'all. I'm looking at this nice facility. We're at Top Golf on June the 24th. Looking forward to seeing y'all. Y'all take it easy. Have a good rest of the week and a great weekend. See y'all. Bye.
Be sure to come out to Juneteenth at Piedmont Park.